Greetings, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Today is the day that Mercury rules, and Mercury is currently in its station direct position. Good morning. Greetings, everyone. Greetings. How are you all doing? How are you guys feeling? The energy is very intense. Meaning, when I say the energy is intense, like I can feel in my body, like sometimes I feel in my body like a deep sense of relaxation, which lets me know the energy for me is not intense. But then sometimes I feel like something is on the verge of happening, and like I'm in this unknown experience, and I'm feeling that now. The sun is in Aries, the moon is in Virgo, and we are in a position of releasing. Like today is a day that we want to begin to really accept the changes that are occurring. So if you have been having challenges with your health, if you have been having challenges in your relationships, or whatever it is, like to stop resisting any changes that are happening. One of my greatest lessons has been learning to observe the experience. This has helped me. Studying Tantra has helped me with learning to observe this experience. The Indian traditions and practices are ancient, and I feel like, there's that makes them really reliable, and it also it makes them really reliable. I'll say that. And so what am I really wanting to talk about? I lost my train of thought. That's so hilarious. Okay, so let me see what I really want to talk about. What's the truth going on? If I lost my train of thought, it means I'm not supposed to talk about that. Okay, so there's a deep transformation happening in my experience, and it is frightening. Let me start there. The things that I'm experiencing are feeling frightening, and it's frightening because there's a lot of unknowns around how I'm meant to function. You guys hear me often talk about learning your own code. What is your code, your natal chart, your way of functioning? And we are in this profound turning point where the old way of being that we had this collective agreement, so when I was a child growing up, everybody watched the same TV shows at the same time, y'all. We used to watch like Welcome Back, Kotter at the same time, Good Times. It was Saturday at the same time or Wednesday at the same time. There was this collective agreement that we were functioning on, and not that everybody was watching it, but millions of people were. And so we were all taking in the same programming. We were all being influenced in the same ways, with the same ideas, the same thoughts, the same ways of being, the same practices. And now we are living at a time where all of that is coming undone. Now, don't get me wrong. It's already been, because of technology and, gently it's already been coming undone because, just say around media, we used to just have, when I was growing up, 3 television stations, and now we have hundreds, right? And so that means that people get to choose all these different ways to use their attention. And what I'm seeing in my own experience is, as I release those conventional, conditioned perspectives and ways of being, my own energies are getting stronger, more focused, more pronounced, for me to build a reality based upon where I'm putting my mind inside of myself, what I think about myself. The reality is showing up. So something really simple, like this stuff is deeply subtle, though very potent. for the past couple of days, I have been looking for a bookshelf that won't take up a lot of space. Like I damn near live in a library, and so I've made a couple of choices. Like, I'm not gonna buy books anymore because I don't need any more books, and I don't need any more books. But also that I wanted a bookcase that doesn't take up a lot of space. So I found this like pole bookcase where the books look like they're just stacked up on the floor, but there's a pole behind it. And I've been looking at it for days, every day, like just looking at it. Am I gonna buy it? Like pricing, different prices online. And today I was out dropping off my son for school and looked in the window of this office, and they had the bookcase in the office that I was thinking about. And what that showed me is that my internal reality is now starting to populate on the outside. What I have been focusing my attention on, my energy, thinking about this bookcase, where will I put it? What will I do with it? And then I come into the real world and I see a bookcase just like the one that is not something that you would see normally. And this is the North Node in Pisces, y'all. This is it. This is the work that we're doing. Our ability to heal the trauma, heal the fears, heal the disconnect from our ancestral experiences that we were encapsulated in, that actually hold power. Racism holds power. The slave trade holds power. All these Jim Crow, all that holds power. And when we stop relating to it from the very low level of terror, fear, what somebody's doing to me, being a victim, when we stop relating to it in that way and realize that it truly is a position of power, and begin to see it from the lens of a transformer, which is what I'm doing. Because today the sun is at the 20th degree in Aries. The 20th degree is a Scorpio degree. So today is a day of deep transformation, where you would take something that you would resist, that you would be fearful of, transmute it, alchemize it, because you are capable of that. That is a part of your power if you are a melanated being. You can take something that your ancestors endured, and you have the capacity, because time is an illusion, because separation is an illusion, and you can take it and hold it from the space of love, from the space of, I am all that this is. I am the slave. I am the slave master. I am the creator of all of it. I am the creator. Like, it's a supernatural perspective. It is a supernatural perspective, one that we haven't been taught from our own self. But if you were a Christian, we were taught it through the lens of Christ, and how Christ was able to be in the desert for 40 days and transmute the darkness into light through fasting, through submission, through understanding that no matter what is going on in this 3D world, the imagination and the power behind it is greater than all things. And so it's almost like, so Christ could surrender his body because he knew that he was greater than the body. That's the mythology. That's the metaphor. That you can transform anything because you are the thing, and you are greater than the thing. So when you are not in your ego with it, when you are not at war with it, and you become one with it, then you can transmute it. And so that's what this day is about. It is a very, I'm talking about it in the best way that I can. The experience that I'm having in it is deeply in my body. I can feel it in my core self. And what it is that I'm ultimately doing is transforming my relationship with the 3D reality from inside of myself, by knowing that I have dominion over this motherfucker, that it when I understand who I am, it has to submit to me. But it's done from love. It's not done from ego. It's not done from pride or separation. It's done from oneness. And so that's what we got today. The moon is in Virgo. While the moon is in Virgo, I fast. I fast while the moon is in my sun sign. I recommend this for everyone, honestly. If you're on the process of ascension, fasting while the moon is in your sun sign. Because, are you feeling detached? That is awesome. I am not feeling detached at all. What's your sun sign and your moon sign? Are you an Aquarius? Because I don't feel detached. But I love that you are. I love that. What's your sun sign? I'm curious. And so when the moon is in Virgo, if you fast while the moon is in your sun sign, you activate you're a Leo. Yeah. That makes sense. Because Mars is about to go into Leo. Do you know what house? What's your rising sign? So the reason why we fast, the reason to fast while the moon is in your sun sign is because you activate the crystal oil in your body. Because this is the thing that we don't understand. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, that would make you feel detached. Yeah, that would make you feel detached because the sun is in Aries and it's and Aries and Leo are both fire signs. So I think they square one another, or do they trine one another? My astrology math brain just turned off. So you want to fast while the moon is in your sun sign. And that fasting just looks like you giving up something, right? It's best. So for me, I've been doing this practice for probably 6 months now. And there was a time when I would just fast from like, okay, I'm not going to eat bread, or I'm not going to eat any meat. But today, this fast, since I've been doing it for 6 months, I literally am not taking in any food at all or water. I'm dry fasting. And then in the evening, when the sun goes down, I take some juice and I have some fruit. And what I feel called to, which I'm in a thing with, is moving into being a fruitarian for a while, to really give my body an opportunity to really shift. Because we burn the most energy digesting food. And as Westerners, we eat so much more than we need to. So the ascension process becomes really difficult because the body can't ascend if it's digesting food. And I have been someone who has been an emotional eater. And that emotional eating is, eating to feel safe, eating to feel secure, eating to deny my feelings, eating through anything. And eating, it's a scarcity practice that I've been inside of. And so I'm opening up to a possibility of really getting in a new groove with this. Like the thought of it makes me emotional because I don't know, like there's a part of me that feels like I can't do it. And it's because it's something that hasn't been, like you don't see it on me. I don't have, I don't have a weight problem. You don't see it. You don't see it, but it shows up in other ways. It's draining my energy in other ways that doesn't really allow me to fully activate who I really am, because when the fear comes up, I'm going to find a piece of bread, and it's like, can I give myself the opportunity to really feel what I'm feeling and not cut it off so that it doesn't get to process? And Aries is the energy of facing our fears. That's what Aries is. It's literally the fear of being yourself, the fear of having the courage to express yourself as you really are, being a pioneer, and so these are things that I have carried narratives around being afraid of, not wanting to be different, not like really wanting to fit in. I was on TikTok scrolling, and there these girls from Spelman College now, and I applied to go to Spelman, and I didn't get accepted to Spelman, and ended up going to Howard. And I really wanted to go to Spelman though. And these girls I'm watching these videos of all of these young girls who are pledging on TikTok, pledging Alpha, AKA, and Delta. And when I was in college, I wanted to pledge, and did the process of initiation, like whatever you do to be able to pledge. Like I did that, and I didn't get accepted because I was dating somebody who was dating me and a Delta at Howard University. And I had transferred from Lincoln, and I just really wanted the community and the sisterhood. I really wanted to fit in. I was really looking for something to belong to, and I didn't get accepted because of this experience with this man. And it turned into a really horrible thing. Like, it turned into a big deal. Like, so he and I used to be really violent with one another also, because I grew up in a violent environment. And when I transferred to Howard University, and I was like auditioning to become a Delta, and you have to do these interviews and do all this sort of stuff, the woman that he was seeing was a Delta. So when she found out that I don't know the backstory because I wasn't a Delta, but I do know that I didn't get to pledge. And one day we were in our 20s, and he was like really in a serious relationship. They ended up getting married, and he brought her to my house. He wanted me to tell her that we were not dating each other. He wanted me to say to her that it was not true that he and I were in a relationship. And I was renting a room in college. It was my first semester that I was renting a room out of a woman's house who was like the age that I am now, like maybe 50. She had a beautiful house filled with like Asian art, beautiful stuff. And I was renting a room. The room was like $300 or $400. And when he said to me that he wanted me to tell this woman that I was lying, I became enraged and attacked him. And she's sitting right there. And I attacked him and started beating, like, I just went crazy on him. And they were trying to get out, but the woman had a bar gate. It was DC, and at the time DC was really violent, so she had a bar that locked from the inside. So I had the keys, so they were trying to get out and they couldn't get out. So I was just beating the shit out of him. And I remember picking up like a heavy glass mug, like a beer mug, like one of those ones that you go to a bar and they freeze it and then they put the beer in it. I picked up a heavy mug and hit him in the head with it, and he was bleeding, and she was afraid, and I lost my fucking mind. And then it occurred to me to let them out because I was losing it. And like, he and I had a violent history, but this was something different. And so I let him out. Like, maybe they called the police or something like that. I think they called the police. So I let him out, and they left. And when the police came, there was blood because I had hit him in the head. There was blood everywhere. And the police were like, well, we're good. We're glad that they're gone because you're fine. And the blood, like, you would have been taken to jail. That's what it is. You would have been gone to jail because he was the one who was injured. And so I just really, gosh, what was my point in telling that story? Like, really understanding my own nature and how I have carried fear and fear of the other, and then these reactions that have been uncontrolled. Like, I have done so much work to suppress this fury, this rage, this Aries energy inside of me, because it has been uncontrollable. When I was a child, it was uncontrollable. My father was a rager, would beat my mother, and like, I just saw so much of it. So after I had that experience, when I was in my 20s, I was in a club here in Los Angeles, in Beverly Hills, and some woman called me a bald-headed bitch. Like, I had really short hair at the time, and this woman called me a bald-headed bitch, and before I knew it, I was beating the shit out of her. Like, it was like, it's like, as I'm talking about it, I'm subtly embarrassed. Like, I feel like I want to cry a bit, because then I had to go to the hospital because I cut myself, and I had to go to the hospital and get stitches that night. And I was with my cousin and another girlfriend of mine who actually started the fight. Like, they started the fight, but then I ended up fighting. I was always the one who would end up fighting. Nobody else would be fighting but me. And I decided that night, getting stitches, that I was not going to fight anymore. That was it. I was done. And I have never had another fight since then. But what did I do with that energy? I stuffed it. I pressed it down. And now I'm working to open it up again, so that I'm not holding all of this terror and fear around my own behavior, or what I will do, or what I will say, or, you know, or how other people are responding to me, or like, literally now I'm an adult and I can actually undo this plug that I have created. She said, now I understand my Aries behavior that came out of nowhere. Yes. Like, my mother was an Aries, and my father and mother used to fight like cats and dogs. And when I understood her chart, I used to think it was my father that was causing the fights. But when I understood her chart, I realized that it was her that was causing the fights. Energetically, it's an energy that is you know? And so, as we are coming out of the Mercury retrograde right now, Mercury retrograde in Pisces and Aries, we are healing old patterns that need to be refurbished, energies that need to be brought up, because everything gets to be used. And then Venus is about to go direct, and we have a full moon in Libra. So Venus is going to go direct. And so the way we relate to others. So I have been suppressing my energy so others won't be offended. Others won't feel bad. I've been contorting myself to make others comfortable. And that energy is going away in me. What energy are you transmuting now? Because we are in an Aries, we're in a Scorpio degree. What energy are you transmuting? Where have you been suppressing yourself? Or where have you been too out there and you need to open, pull it in and do something else with it? I have Aries people close to me. I think they get, yes, we do. We get fiery on autopilot. When I first went to college, you guys, I remember, like, when I was 17, like, I would just get into fights with girls. It was just, like, the first month, I had to really learn how to manage my energy, because I would just pop off and fuck people up. Like, it was really something. I had a lot of fights in high school, and, like, some girls came to my house one day and jumped me over a guy that I was seeing when I was in, like, the 10th or 11th grade. It was just, I grew up in the hood. Let's just say that. I grew up in the hood, and I had to defend myself. I had to fight, and I defended other people. I didn't just defend myself. One day I was on a bus with one of my friends in high school, and she was a light-skinned woman, a light-skinned girl with blue eyes, and some people were picking on her from another school. We went to St. Mary's Academy, and which was by Inglewood High School, and there were some girls from Inglewood High School picking on her. So I started fighting them. I just had a lot of fucking fights. I fought my uncles. I just fought a lot, and that's the Aryan energy, and I had to put it away. And now what it is it's power, it's force. So how can it be used in a way that's beneficial, that doesn't do harm to me or others? All right, y'all. Peace and blessings. If you need any support, you can check out my website at healwithmoonmama.com. Our next orientation for daughters of the 13 moons is on.
You're here. Please make sure it's clear before exiting.
Our next orientation is April 17th, where we will come together to talk about what for those of you who are ready to step into initiation, and really, because what do I want to say? The world is changing, and we are changing as human beings. And what I'm seeing is that the more I understand myself in this new world, my abilities, my powers, my gifts, my magic has to come on board. I can no longer function from the perspective that my power is outside of me, or that something is even outside of me that has power over me. I am the creator of my life, of my reality, through my consciousness, through my energy, through my thoughts, through my choices. We all are. We're creating our own experience. And if you don't understand that you're doing that, you constantly are in a victim role, where things seem like they're occurring or happening to you. And understanding your code is so important. When I started to understand what it meant to be a Pisces rising, what it meant to have Pisces at the top of my chart, and how and Pisces is the subconscious spiritual energy, I realized that I can't go through life in this mental thinking and forcing, and I literally have to move through my life as if I'm wading through water, because the Pisces is the subconscious. And so I must do the rituals. I must understand that I am connected to the invisible forces that are unseen all the time. So it is my responsibility to connect to the invisible forces. And I do it in different ways. I do it through connecting to the elements: fire, water, air, space. I do it through breath work and meditation. I do it through other types of ritual work, because Pisces is my head, which means my whole system is connected to the subconscious realm. It doesn't seem like that because I'm in this physical 3D reality, but it is because that's what my chart says. And when I follow it like it is, then things work out for me. Literally, reality bends for me. Things move for me. I think something and it happens. I'm looking for a bookcase and I'm looking at it every day. And then I walk to a door and I see the bookcase, because my internal reality begins to show up in my external experience. Understanding your code is important. And when we are doing the work in the Daughters of the 13 Moons, in the initiation, you begin to align to the energies of the moon cycles, which is the water, and you are 70% water. So you tap into this subconscious, unseen experience that isn't available when you are in your head and when you are too externalized. And literally life then begins to move you. It's almost like you become the puppet of the universe, and you know exactly where to go, and everywhere you step is where you're meant to be. It's really a magical experience. And, I just love it. And, for the women who are there with us now, it's so powerful to watch their realities come into existence and unfold. It's so incredible. The reality book just comes alive. Like everything comes alive. It's pretty profound. Anyway, if you'd like to join us for the orientation, you can go on my link tree and join the orientation group, and we get started on the 18th or 19th of April. All right, you all. Peace and blessings. I'm the Moon Mama. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.